Top of the morning, fight fans. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, round 2. And I have some new news concerning, some breaking news concerning Canelo Alvarez, Oscar De La Hoya, and DAZN. Get this. Canelo sues DAZN, Golden Boy, De La Hoya for breach of contract. Wow. Middleweight world champion Canelo Alvarez hasn't had his ability to get a fight lined up due to the contractual issues with his promoter and broadcast partner, and is taking his fight outside the ring. Alvarez, boxing's biggest star, on Tuesday sued promoter Golden Boy Promotions, its owner, CEO, and chairman, Oscar De La Hoya, and broadcast partner DAZN in the United States. Wow. The federal court for the Central District of California claiming damages of at least $280 million. In the 24-page lawsuit, a copy of which was obtained by BoxingScene.com, Mexico's Alvarez is suing for breach of contract, intentional interference with contract, interference with a contract, fraud, breach. Wow. Of the related 5-year deal worth then athlete record $365 million, Alvarez signed with streaming service in DAZN in early hours of 2018. Under that deal, Alvarez was due to fight twice a year on Mexican holiday weekends in May and September for $35 million minimum guarantee from the $40 million DAZN would pay Golden Boy for each fight. Other than that, the first bout of the deal against Ricky Fielding in December 2018, for which Alvarez received $15 million. Despite Alvarez's success, both DAZN and Golden Boy have broken their promises they made to each other. Alvarez and the boxing fans, the lawsuit said, "I'm doing so defendants have breached their respective contract and caused Alvarez damages to at least $280 million. Wow. Besides the damages Alvarez has, he is also seeking other damages, attorney fees, cost of the suit, and judicial determination that he is eligible to participate in bouts arranged and promoted by entities other than Golden Boy Promotions and broadcast by entities other than DAZN." Wow. 30 years old with that type of contract, with that type of pressure, with that type of following, the highest paid boxer around right now, okay? Allegedly, but due to the contract he signed. It just shows you that boxing is in trouble to a certain extent. We have no more HBO. That went belly up. And we have Canelo suing DAZN. Now, what does this mean? This means he could possibly be out of a fight for a very long time. And somebody 30 years of age, other fighters have went through it. Mikey Garcia had to go through it with Top Rank, and, Andy Ruiz also with Top Rank, and, and there's been other situations, Felix Trinidad to name some, that has had, had his run-ins with Don King, with Mike Tyson, with, a lot of people that had problems with type of contract like this. But this is by far the biggest that we've ever saw. 200, he's suing for $280 million on top of everything else. Lawyer fees and all that stuff. So, man, what do we say to that? Like, we won't see Canelo. And the main the number one question you ask yourself is, does he have a point? Yes, he has a point. He has a valid claim. Okay? He has signed a contract with DAZN and they have to deliver. Okay? Now, it's going to be a hassle, a big argument. This might run for a very long time. right? Because Canelo Alvarez signed a contract with DAZN 2 years ago for a 5-year deal, which looked very, very lucrative. I'm pretty sure that he might have retired or planned to retire after that deal. But something that was out of everyone's control is what's going on in the world. So a lot of things, the question would be, should DAZN and Golden Boy honor that contract with what's going on in the world? And it comes back to, you have to look at Canelo. Let's look at Canelo. You have to fight someone worthy, okay? Because they're gonna counterclaim that Canelo was picking fights that nobody wanted to see. Under the contract that he signed, it shows that he has to fight the world-worthy opponents, being the champion. Okay, so fighting the guy Yildirim or offering to fight him in DAZN turned it down. That was a red flag right there, all by itself. Then I was like, that doesn't look good. If DAZN's telling Canelo, yo, you can't do that. We don't want that fight. We don't want to pay you this amount of money to fight that particular guy. So that's what we're dealing with. That's what we're dealing with in this situation. This is very, very bad. Okay. And it just shows you that I know now Canelo is not the highest paid unless he wins the lawsuit, but he's already filed. So that means that he possibly can't fight for the next 2 or 3 years. Who knows? Because if they win, that means if DAZN wins, he has to turn around and pay them with what money? He's obligated and he signed a contract for that money, but has he received that money to pay them? And let's say he loses. It's going to be bad. He has to honor that contract to pay him that money. He'll be in bad shape. But if he wins, he can go where he's going to go. And he won't stay with DAZN more than likely. The relationship in Canelo Alvarez will deteriorate. They used to be, I think, genuinely friends or like a kohai, senpai, certain type of relationship, the senior man and the junior man type relationship, and I think that dissolved. But because Canelo came out of his mouth and said, hey, me and Oscar De La Hoya only have a professional relationship. Because remember when Mayweather rehashed all that fishnets, black pantyhose Oscar De La Hoya was wearing and all that stuff? I think that was when Canelo decided to no, like he started separating himself, from hanging out with Oscar in a lot of these events, because he used to be a lot of places where you seen Oscar, you seen Canelo. If you guys can remember that, they were all over the place. They were talking. They were, they were friends. They had a different type of relationship. But if you seen, it slowly started just to ease back and to separate, and you didn't really see one or both unless it was a press conference. So like Canelo said, it was a business thing or a business relationship. So that's what it reverted to. Okay. So when the business ends, nothing else is there at this point. And look, for $280 million, DAZN has to pay. Well, if they have to pay that, what does it mean for all the other fighters that DAZN is on DAZN's roster? It's a lot of them. You got all the Matchroom over there. You got the Matchroom fights. You got the Joshua fights. And, think about it. The Usyk fights. Everybody else is over there. So Canelo, if he wins, he could shake the whole tree and every fruit from that tree will fall. Okay, so it's bad for boxing, honestly. This is not a good thing. With people fighting for money in a pandemic, but then, things are bad, man. The economy's bad. So then you could say, well, why is Canelo asking for this type of money and under these type of circumstances? You could ask that. But then, you could also ask, like, well, you could look at it pragmatically, like, yo, he signed the contract, so you have to honor him. He didn't. It's not his fault that a pandemic's there. So I see both sides of what's going on in this situation, but this looks bad. Anyway, you guys tell me what you think about Canelo Alvarez suing DAZN, Golden Boy, and Oscar De La Hoya at the same damn time. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunching. Peace.